Hello people, Awesome50 here, and I'm back again to talk about simulated reality which we might possibly be living in, which we don't even know about. It's like a prison we're living in, and we don't even know we are living in this prison because the best prisons which are created are the prisons designed to make us think that we're not actually inside a prison. You know? Does that make any sense? So basically, we could all be living in a simulated reality and we actually don't even know about it. For all we know, our conscience might actually be shoved inside like a massive computer and it generates organisms just like ourselves and we don't even know it. Why do I think this? Because every time we leave the front door, we could either turn left or right, and who knows what might actually happen. We could leave early for work one day or late, and different things might happen on your journey to work, which you don't even know about. And you never know. This is what quantum computers are designed to kind of do, is to kind of like do the math regarding a million different problems and processes in like the real world time kind of thing, if that makes any sense. I could be a tiny bit off, but it does make some form of sense. Plus, my theories are kind of boosted a little bit more with the rise of virtual reality gaming. Yes. So basically, we have the VR2 now, which is actually really, like pretty much out there. It's pretty good, and this is where the world of gaming is going to be. So if you think of role-playing games such as the Elder Scrolls series, the Fallout series, even Starfield, even games like Dragon Age Origins, for example, or anything like that, uh, you could probably play this and be yourself in a virtual reality, which is like a simulation in itself. So gaming's kind of turning more into simulations rather than anything else. For example, I've been playing the new Forza game on Xbox, and you can drive pretty much your dream car and race it whenever the hell you want, and you will never drive this actual car in real life. So maybe in the future we could be living in a simulation as we speak, and we might be entering into another simulation as we speak at the same time. So again, where the hell is reality in all of this? Maybe reality is actually just a myth, and maybe we are just programmed just to keep being reborn and rebooted inside of a computer, and we keep replaying different choices in our lives to have different effects. Now, some people, I'm not too sure who, I think it might have been Elon Musk, and there's actually been a couple of other people throughout history which have supported the theory of a simulated reality. I believe I could be a tiny bit off here, people. You've got to bear with me because these videos I make are actually not scripted. I just kind of switch the camera on, put the microphone in, and then I just kind of start talking. There's no script. So basically, some people think that in the future, the world is probably going to get destroyed by wars or whatever. Some people believe that an alien race might actually take over the world, and they have built massive quantum computers on a planet level scale, possibly on another planet, that just keeps replaying human simulations just to study what humans actually did. So basically, we could be being spied on, as we know, by aliens, not even knowing it. This could kind of explain stuff like sleep paralysis, where you kind of see things that aren't really there. If you're suffering from some kind of mental issues, which like myself, then you might hear or see things that people tell you are not really there, but it turns out they really are there. But you have risen to a state of awareness where you can actually hear and see things that aren't actually there, and they really are there. It could be the people spying on you, watching you, seeing what you do, what choices you make. They can study you, analyze humans. Or there's actually been another theory where humans did survive. There isn't any simulation. We just like living in like a post-apocalyptic wasteland, like Terminator style, basically. I think they were the three main points. I could be completely wrong, but I believe that is the case. So think of the film like The Matrix, where you're living in the real world and then you jack into the Matrix, and then you're living in a simulated world, and you see lots of people like NPCs. Yes, walking around. They think they're actually trapped, in the prison inside the Matrix. But maybe they aren't real people. Maybe this world might just be your world and everybody else is an NPC. That could generate the feeling of loneliness in some people because you've risen to a state of awareness where you can see past this prison we fucking live in. Yes. So this has kind of turned into more of a conspiracy theory video, which, why the hell not? I might as well just try and do this. So with the rise of virtual reality, we are kind of building simulated world already. Me, I've got dry mouth. Talking about this, I need some water. Hydration. So yeah, but again, as I just took a sip of that water, if we are living like a simulated reality, how would this water actually hydrate me? So again, we also might not be living in a virtual simulation. We might not be. Or this we are actually somewhere in a pod in the real world, like in the Matrix, and we're actually getting all our nutritional values from machines, and they are keeping us alive like that. And when I take a sip of this water, it's just an illusion of the mind, basically. So that water might not have actually done anything for me. There might be something else doing something for me outside of this simulated reality we actually live in. Yes, what I'm talking about, it makes absolute zero sense, but I'm just trying to open up people's minds and think about this just 2 minutes. What if we are living in a simulated reality? Would we even know we're living in it? Because if the simulation is that perfect, then we'd never know. Another thing in the Matrix, if people actually study the Matrix, there was actually different. The Matrix you see in the films, there was actually older versions of the Matrix. The first one, which Agent Smith actually talks about, is I'm not too sure what it would be called. It would be like the perfect system. Basically, humans were shoved in a simulation, but everything was too perfect, where they didn't have to fight for anything. They got everything given to them. It was like the perfect place of heaven. But people's minds just got bored and they rebelled against it, and the system just kind of crashed because everything was too perfect. There was nothing to look forward to. Well, then the architect did something different. Yes. What he did different was he created the Nightmare Matrix, which was the complete other end of the spectrum. Okay? And on the other end of the spectrum, this is where you had demons, you had vampires, you had werewolves, you had aliens, you had everything to torment the human race. But the problem is, when people got tormented that badly, they kind of resorted to ending themselves, or they panicked and they got killed anyway in the system, and it was just too scary. Humans just hated it so much, so then they created another Matrix, which is the Matrix which we see all around us, which is in the films, which you see all the time anyway. Because humans, they're just programmed to go to school, learn how to work, you earn money, and your life is pretty boring unless you have some ecstatic hobbies. Your life is just pretty linear in one way, and it's easier for the human mind to kind of understand. Yeah. So this is could be why in our reality, be simulated, which we live in, might actually have. Well, this is where we've heard of vampires. This is where we've heard of werewolves, demons. This could be from our, consciousness in an other version of the Matrix we live in. Like we might have once lived in our bodies in a completely different Matrix, and this is why we have these things planted in our brains. That's why people make films about them. This might be where the illusion of heaven and hell actually comes from, because if you think about it, humans, we've only ever documented that we've been around for about 2,000 years. We just believe that. No one told us that. Time, it's just a measurement. Who the fuck created time? No one created time. It's just always been there. You know? I know this sounds absolutely ridiculous, but just think of it for a few minutes. There's actually been people which have been reincarnated or whatever, and they remember the person that actually killed them. Whether that's bullshit or not, I don't know, but all I'm trying to do is just to open people's minds up and just think for a second. Maybe everything that we see around us is absolutely pretty much ridiculous. Maybe every time we pass away, we're just reborn again, constantly, 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 and we could be being watched. And every time we're reborn, we do different things all the time. Like, for example, deja vus. How messed up are them? Where you feel as though you've already done this before. That possibly is because you have done this before. So you do something different instead. You know, it's absolutely mind blowing when you think about it. It kind of is, because life is full of choices, and this is how algorithms kind of work in gaming. Where if it's a role playing game, you could do about 5 different playthroughs and do different things and come on top or below every time. But if we are humans and we keep doing the same thing over and over, well, keep being reborn over and over again, then there's a math behind something that's saying what we're going to do next, if that makes sense. It's like devices. For example, if you go on Amazon and you start shopping, and you click on so many different things, the system is going to do its own algorithms and predict what you are going to order next and what you might want. For example, cookies on your computer, you keep doing the same thing. This algorithm's working in the background and it kind of shoves you in one direction, which might be the direction you didn't even want to go in anyway. When you go on sites and you get recommended videos, for example, like on YouTube, you've clicked so many things for the system to predict what you want to watch next. So if you take that and shove it inside a simulated reality kind of world, that means every choice you make has already been predicted to what you're going to do next. So there could be people watching us predicting our next moves. They could even be gambling to see what we actually do. Mind blowing. So basically, the illusion of free will doesn't even exist because everything's already been predetermined to what you're going to do next. That's why when you want to do something, you generally just do it. And when you're thinking about doing something, you're probably going to do it anyway, but later on in the future, you know? So we could be living in a simulated reality, which is like a prison for the mind. And we think we have free will when we don't, because everything we're going to do has already been predicted by a quantum computer. So I just want people to think of that for a second. So every time, you stick VR goggles on, and I don't think there's really any role-playing games yet. I know the Horizon's there, but you're putting in a virtual reality goggles on, playing a virtual reality game, and if it's like a role-playing game, you're playing it in a simulated world, which is like the real world, potentially, because you're walking around making choices, and you actually are this person, I saw a theory once where it says, like, do you know when you look directly at something and you can see perfectly, but in the corner of your eye you can't see anything perfectly? That could be because, for example, still rendering. Sounds mad that. Someone told me that. I'm not too sure if I think that's actually bullshit. But this whole video, everything I'm talking about now could be an illusion. It could be bullshit. It could be real. Who the hell knows? It's just one of them food for thought videos, this. This could be one of the darkest secrets of gaming. Who knows? So yeah, take this video with a pinch of salt, people. It's just a conspiracy video. It's not really meant to be taken too seriously, what I'm saying, but it's just literally a food for thought video. Just look around you and think to yourself, could this actually be real? But again, there's some bonuses to what I've just said, because if everything's predetermined by choice, you can actually break the code and do something different. So, for example, if there's something you really want to do in your life, still just do it, because there's always a way to crack any system. Yeah. So if you think your life is mundane, this is simulated reality. You do have the ability to change this. Awesome 50 out. Don't take this video too seriously though.